Well, how y'all doing? So last week you probably noticed that there wasn't a TwoSun Tuesday, and I did actually shoot one, but I just completely forgot to actually schedule it the day after it was uploaded. It was on this guy right here, the TS what is this 26 Nightwing, and I will take another look at it probably pretty soon, but. I do want to go ahead and re-record that because it had some, things from the last boogie year and whatnot. So I decided I wanted to start off a little bit. So, all right, we all made it. It's 2021. That doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to be fixed in the world, but time marches on, and hey, we got some vaccines, and hopefully these variants and everything don't catch up and do more harm. So, moving on with that, let's go back to knives. And today I have my thumb, but underneath my thumb, I have this itty bitty little guy right here. This is a TS41. It's super adorable. Uh, this guy's a NightMorning design. It's an S90V. Hooray! Hopefully, it actually lives up to S90V. We do know that some of the earlier S90V steels weren't super great performers, but I've also seen some a little bit later on that have been fantastic. So I don't know. Maybe eventually I can get around to trying to do some cut testing on it, but generally trying to do a lot of rope cutting with a two finger knife is it's not the easiest in the world. I got New Year's Eve on the brain still, so so yeah, this is a pretty interesting itty bitty little guy right here. Um, the only thing I think that I could kind of knock it, even though I understand exactly why it is that way, is that it's not quite symmetrical, even though it mostly is. You can see basically you got the pivot right there. It would make sense for that screw to be right in the center there too. Just aesthetically, it would look nice. Obviously, as you look down there, well, that's really not a possibility. But yeah, this guy actually has a titanium pocket clip on him too, and a decent amount of clearance going on in there as well, which is kind of neat. Um, It's also mounted internally, so you don't really have any extra screws or anything there. So yeah, this guy is super easy to disassemble. We just got a couple of T8 screws. We got one on the back there, and then we got the pivot. I might have nope, I have not done that to this guy yet. A lot of times I will put a lot of Loctite and whatnot on these guys on the inside of the pivots when I get them, but I have not done that with this guy yet. So yeah, you got their blackened titanium for basically the front and back scales, as well as the back spacer here that's held in with two pins, as well as that guy right there. And because this guy is super small, they decided that you know having a lanyard hole isn't exactly the highest of our priorities, and that's great because I think it would kind of look ugly on this guy in general because even less symmetrical design. But yeah, as you can see, this guy still has ceramic bearings. It's got the itty bitty little ones, which is usually reserved for some of their smaller models. This guy in particular being a very different beast, but still uses the that same style of stuff. By the way, I am really not a fan of what a KME can do to an edge, and this was tuned to be 17 degrees. And man, this is after some more practice, so I'm not super thrilled with the KME sharpening system at the moment. I have used the Work Sharp Precision. Basically their little $50 or $60 version of it, and it kind of like the Super Nintendo, coming out so far after the Sega Genesis, if you will, using video game terminology stuff. They've been able to see and learn a lot from what a lot of those other systems have done and what was kind of going wrong with some of them. So it has a worm gear, which is nice for being able to adjust it pretty easily. And, doesn't have a lot of difficulties in scuffing up blades or anything like that. But it is, at least currently, severely lacking in blade grits, which hopefully they will be able to issue some more stuff on that, and I would be really happy for it. My biggest downfall with it so far is that its coarsest is 320. And I would really much rather have I think 120 would make the most sense, but hey, if they can go for 80, I would take that as well. Just for a little bit more of the reprofiling kind of things going on there. I've done a little bit of cheating as well, and basically taken a knife at a particular degree edge, usually 17 so far, and put that on there with the Ken Onion belt grinder with the blade grinding attachment or whatever, and that gets me through a lot of the reprofiling, but it does put a convex edge on it, so you still have a bit of grinding back and forth on that. So that's somewhere that they could improve, and also their highest grit is like a 1200 or 1500 grit ceramic. So you can get an edge that's shiny, but missing that mirror polished magical edge that so many people are really, really, really looking for. And is promised by, a lot of the other clamp-based systems outside of Landscape. So KME, man, my mind just went blank with them. Because Wicked Edge isn't one of them. I don't know. I think there's a Russian one called the Russian Pro that's kind of in that same way. The Apex Edge Pro, I guess, also has the ability to do that. So it would be nice for them to, kind of come out with some different things. I was thinking, it would be nice for a reprofiling, either a single stone that they could sell for, fairly cheap, because you can change out and replace stones on the on that tri thing, or they could just come out with a whole cartridge with 3 different grits on there. The other one though that I would like to see is kind of a higher grit, more of a polishing kind of thing. Yes, it's going to be a lot more for the enthusiasts, and so I'm perfectly fine having that not be included in models moving on and so forth and whatnot. And that one I would like to have either 2 just steel plates on the backside, or they could use glass like the KME system uses, for using different lapping films that they could include. And hey, there's another tiny little thing that they can sell to people, and or they can purchase their own and use them. That would be great. And also, for that third side, just have a leather strap on there. Obviously they got a lot of it laying around. You can essentially just take the ones off of these field sharpeners and then like snip them down by an inch or two, and it'd fit right on there. So, there's cheap ways that they could go about it, and I hope that they do. And wow, did I go off on a really crazy random tangent. because this is about this knife in front of me, not about a sharpener that's sitting over on my couch, so I can play around and sharpen some knives while I'm watching some YouTube or playing some games or whatnot. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's jump on back to this knife here. This kind of has almost like an iron cross kind of look to it. I mean, obviously it's not fully that design at all, but it does kind of have a little bit of that aesthetic, especially with the blackened titanium kind of thing going on there. It's got a little flipper tab, and what I can say is because it is on those bearings and everything, this guy is really easy to deploy. Either right or heck, it's even easier left-handed because you can put your thumb on the clip there. So it gives you a lot of purchase, even if you're right-handed, opening it in an offhand. It's got, obviously that steel insert that, most titanium knives actually need to not deform the titanium over time and make the lockup absolute crap on it. And it's got a little bit of jimping going on here on the back, which does a pretty good job with kind of where your thumb wants to end up there. So you do have a pretty usable blade there. I do tend to go towards a pinch grip a lot of times on knives instead of the full bear down force, at least at the beginning of a cut, especially if I'm cutting like a tall piece of cardboard. I will always start with a pinch cut because I have absolute control over where it goes. I can make a little bit of a cut there, and then I can either move on to that, or I guess perhaps the full gorilla grip or whatnot. So I do like that this guy is fairly comfortable that way as well. It's not uber thin like your standard Swiss Army knife or anything like that. So you do have a little bit of substantial grip on there. And that pocket clip, because this is a two-handed kind of thing, I don't really get much of a hot spot off of it. So, it's nice. It does its job. I think its job is probably much more suited towards a dress shirt pocket or a polo pocket. I wear polo shirts almost all the time because they're longer than t-shirts, and I have a very long torso. That's another besides the point kind of thing. But yeah, this guy amused the ever-loving crap out of me once it came in. There's certain things where you want to open them up, and you get that kind of reaction out of it. Maybe not when you open some guy. Never mind. I'm not even gonna make the joke. It's just stupid. Okay, so so yeah, this guy I really like quite a bit because it's a nice smaller folder from them. It's not a slip joint. I have quite a few slippies from TwoSun. I did a kind of an overview of some of them quite a while back, and I will probably revisit that because I've picked up more slip joints since then. More from TwoSun, but also from Cold Steel and some others. So yeah, I will revisit that, especially because I'm enjoying them more and more and more. They don't quite have that same fidget factor like something like these locking guys do, but they are quite useful in that not super hard use and or just don't stab with them kind of mentality. This is why it confused me when Civivi came out with a Tonto version of I'm completely blanking. I want to say the Actium, but that's the Syncut, which is now their even lower end sort of thing. But they came out with a slip joint that had the same kind of hole cut out, but they came out with a Tonto version of it, and I'm like, that makes sense if you were just looking at using a Tonto as the fact that you have two tips on a knife. But if you actually want to use it for piercing, kind of what the whole Tonto shape is designed for, having it in a slip joint is actually kind of terrifying to me. you're going to cut kind of whatever that you're trying to stab, but also mercilessly cut your fingers. So I don't know. It's interesting, but not really for me. Man, my mind is just all over the place. Well, I suppose before I start rambling on about absolutely everything that's coming to my mind, that's the TwoSun TS41, an adorably cute little blade with basically just under 2 inches of cutting length on there. Very nice and lightweight. And the blade stock isn't super thick. It still is kind of as thick as some of their other models. So I think this is like 3.7 or 3.8 inches. You know what? I can actually find that out. 3.7 or 3.8 millimeters, by the way, not inches. Yeah, this is like 3.6. So just a tad thinner than some of their others that are, much larger in size. While I'm here, because I haven't measured it yet either, I suppose I should do that. So, yeah, we got under 40 grams on this guy. So, yeah, 1.38 ounces. Super nice, lightweight, quite capable. And if the steel is as good as their newer S90V is, then, a fantastic cutter that's just going to keep going. So, yeah, as I was saying at the beginning, I will re-look at this guy, the TS26 Nightwing, next week. Mostly because a lot of the remarks that I had in that video were about New Year's coming up, and well, you're watching this video and it's already the New Year, so it's a little irrelevant. So, I'll revisit it and probably do a little bit better job than I did last time. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Happy we all made it to 2021, and hoping that everybody has a safe and wonderful January. So, yeah, as always, I appreciate y'all, and have a wonderful rest of your day, yo.